Courtney Walsh, Glenn Megra, Shane Warne, Muthaiya Muralidharan, Anil Kumble, James Anderson, and now Stuart Broad. What a way to enter into this elite group of taking 500 test match wickets. And let me tell you one thing, it will also be regarded as one of the greatest comebacks ever because he was dropped from the first test match between these two sides, and how he performed in second and third test match raised some eyeballs on English selection. Hello and a warm welcome everybody. England ended up winning the 3-match test series against West Indies 2-1, and on this note we at Sports Tiger will be reviewing the final test. So let's try to review the third and the final test match between these two sides. It wouldn't be wrong to say that Jason Holder actually lost the trick when he opted to bowl on a pitch which had lot to offer for the batsmen. And at the same time, let me tell you one more thing, that when you are playing a decider, it's always better to not bat in the fourth innings because of the added pressure. So I think Jason Holder missed the trick. When Englishmen came out to bat, he would have thought that he did not miss that trick because Englishmen ended up losing 4 wickets for 122 runs. But let me tell you one thing, Ollie Pope and Josh Buttler had different thoughts. They ended up scoring a half century each, and Stuart Broad at the end of it scored 62, eventually helping Englishmen to finish at 369 in their first innings. When West Indies came out to bat, it wouldn't be wrong to say that they had no answers whatsoever for Stuart Broad's bowling, because Stuart Broad ended up picking a 6-for for just 31 runs. There was only one batsman who was able to show some resistance on the wicket, and his name is Captain Jason Holder. Other than him, nobody was able to build a partnership. Eventually, West Indies scored only 197 runs in their first innings. James Anderson picked 2. Jofra Archer and Chris Woakes picked a wicket each, eventually helping Englishmen to be in a very strong position. Having a lead of 172 runs in their first innings, all Englishmen needed was a good partnership at the top order. And let me tell you one thing, Rory Burns and Sibley were able to produce that. Burns scored 90, Sibley scored a half century along with his skipper Joe Root, eventually helping Englishmen to give a target of 1 less than 400 runs to West Indies. Chasing 399 in a decider test match, it always becomes very difficult for any team for that matter of fact. And let me tell you one thing, similar was the condition of West Indies when they came out to bat on day 3 in the final session. Campbell did not trouble the scorers as he departed for a duck. Roach was sent ahead of Hope as a night watchman, but let me tell you one thing, Stuart Broad had different questions for him and he had no answers whatsoever because he departed very early. On day 4, all England needed were 8 wickets and West Indies had to survive day 4 and day 5. Day 4 ended up going in West Indies' favour as rain gods had different plan, as we saw no ball being bowled on that day because of rain. Day 5, England needed 8 wickets to win the test match and West Indies had to survive X number of overs. We all know the result. Chris Woakes ended up picking a 5-for, Stuart Broad ended up picking a 4-for, and at the end of it, Englishmen were able to win the test match by 269 runs. What a test match we had, what a test series we had rather. 2-1 in favour of England, but let me tell you, at the end of it, cricket was a real winner because we finally saw some cricketing action post-COVID. We were so happy to bring all the reviews, previews, press conferences and a lot many things around it. We hope you enjoyed it during this time because we will be bringing previews, reviews, press conferences and a lot more during England versus Ireland series, which is scheduled to start on 30th of July. So keep watching Sports Tiger. Do subscribe the channel if you haven't yet. And let me tell you one thing, cricket is back and so are we. Thank you so much guys.